Okay. I'm still trying to I'm figuring it out, and I'm keeping it unedited so far.
Yeah.
The podcast. I had this thing where I'm like, welcome to the podcast where we mind our P's and Q's. I mean, does that feels sort of cheesy? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I like it though.
You like it? Okay. I mean, I kind of like the podcast because it would still be the same sound.
No,
I think
that's sweet.
Yeah. That was on the spot. But anyway, welcome to another episode of the podcast. We have a very special guest today, Jason. What's your last name?
Davis.
Yeah. Jason Davis.
Yeah.
And while this is sort of something that I'm still figuring out, we're kind of just gonna listen to this music that Jason picked out and just kind of flow and just see where the conversation goes, and we'll get to know you a little bit more, and maybe we'll do a little jam. Who knows?
That sounds good. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, this is the music, Breathe Deeper by Tame Impala.
Yeah.
So that's what we're starting off with. So I think maybe it's interesting if we just let people know how it is that we came to know each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And how it is that you got to the spot where we could know each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so here at Dead Mountain, met in class, and then how I got here, basically I was at Utah State, and I was just kind of floating. I didn't really have any direction. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I kind of just floated, and that's when I found out how much I love music, especially Tame Impala.
Yeah.
It's because I would just, instead of going to class, I just had this dream of being a rock star, so I would practice music every day, just listen to music, and just smoke weed every day. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Then found that I really like programming, that I should, probably get a job. so I went, okay, I'm gonna do school. I'm gonna go back to Utah State for programming.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't really need to do that. I can just do a boot camp. So I heard so many good things. So yeah, and I came here, and now I'm just completely broke.
Yeah.
And I'm just living life.
Yeah.
Then met Q.
Yeah.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
So life is good.
So yeah, I'm curious if you let me ask you about that sort of idea, I should get a job, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? Because if you'll, and then this will be a 2-part question. Where do you think that comes from? And also, did you feel like you were wasting your time when you were getting high and listening to Tame Impala and playing music? Did that feel like a waste of time to you?
So yeah, I think about this a lot, the whole dynamic of your responsibility and then your dreams. And I think sometimes people sacrifice one for the other, but I don't really think that's the case. I think I was not wasting time at all, especially in my mind. Because I found out a lot of I learned a lot in different ways, and it was awesome. You guys should try it. But I don't think the whole idea of I need to get a job. I think it's I think there's a level of responsibility that I wasn't assuming, and that I needed to step up and try to make money. But I think I got some of those insights from smoking a lot. I don't think there would have been a shortcut for me to do that.
Yeah.
I think I need to go down the route of using too much to come back to a place where I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, honestly, have you ever greened out before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, right? It's
really
freaking
bad.
terrifying. And greening out is just smoking too much weed. You feel like you just lose your identity almost. It's just any sort of connection to earth. It's weird. It just feels like you just lose what grounds you. And it's a process of finding your way back. That's really difficult because you're shoot, I remember where I am. I had moments where I'd be I don't know where I am. I need to reestablish this is where I am, and speak these mantras of the address that I know to just kind of bring me back.
Yeah, you're so gone.
Yeah.
You're very detached is a good word.
Yeah. But one of the things about that is that it helps you recognize that there is a you to come back to, right?
Yes.
And so then it's this cool path of I'm finding myself. And as I go out and I get to come back, then it's I know that link to who I am. It becomes strengthened.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I think, and if you'll let me, like lift you up for a second, like Jason's actually a really phenomenal improvisational guitar player. I haven't heard him play too much like, sheet music or whatever, but it was crazy. He comes into class. I asked people if they wanted to do some music at our little Dev Mountain software boot camp, and Jason was the only one that said yes. He shows up with his guitar and then just sits down and starts playing, and it was dope. Like, it's a total vibe, and I think Jason has a really good sense of like creating nice vibes, just like Tame Impala, right? Like, he's a total vibe, and his music just fills the space, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
With all that good energy. But it's like, I think it takes somebody who knows themselves well to play the way that you did. Like, where it's just like, I know what I am, and I know how I feel and how to express that, so I can play that, Yeah. And part of that process of leaving yourself and going too far out is coming back and being like, oh, there is a thing that's me, and now I can play that. And that's pretty dope. Like,
yes. No, I definitely agree, and I think, like, the whole idea of, like, I think bad trips are beneficial, because I think you have this idea of how life works and how it is in your head. Yeah. And I think it's healthy to obliterate that. Yeah. Like, just literally, because once that, like, breaks, that's when you start freaking out. Yeah. But I think it's helpful to break that, because then you just, like, can really put things in perspective. Yeah. And then, like, kind of like what you said, like, you become aware of your own beliefs. And would kind of separate what's your beliefs and what's not. Yeah. And I think it's a scary thing, like, as someone, like, because you're ex-Mormon too, right? Yeah, as someone, like, went on a mission and, like, changed my beliefs while I was out there because of, like, I didn't believe the doctrine. I was like, wait, this isn't, wait a minute, I think, like, that's an example of that, between, like, I had to separate, like, my ideas between what people are telling me. Because, like, they mold into one if you aren't aware of it. Yeah. But I think getting high and smoking really just, it does that for you. Yeah. Like, boom. Right. So it is. That could not be true. Yeah. And, like, I wasn't smoking weed. I never smoked weed until after I left the church.
Right. Till you had a framework in which you didn't have the restrictions of, well, you can't do that, it's a bad thing. Yeah. It's like stepping into it allows you to be like, what is a bad thing? Is having a breakdown of what I believe to be true a bad thing? Like, is my life the way that I structured it falling apart a bad thing? Yeah. And you're like, at first it feels like it, because you're panicked. You're like, how do I survive if I don't have this? And then you get to the other side of it, and you're like, maybe there were some things about life that it was good that fell away. Yeah. Like, and it feels like COVID sort of was that thing, right? Yeah. Like, it was the bad trip that the world went through. Where it's just like, everything that we had, it just falls apart. So that we can put things into perspective and say, like, who am I? What do I actually want? And now we're seeing, like, work change and life change, and people want to go back. But I think, dude, once you've broken that, let it go.
COVID was a bad trip. I totally can see that. Like, my dad, like, he works remote now because everyone, like, half the company's remote now after COVID. Because they're like, wait, I don't like going to work. And I want to spend time with my family. And so they just, like, stopped going. And, like, no one's saying anything. So it's cool.
Right. It's like, I mean, well, I won't get into the personal stuff that's going on here for me at Dev Mountain. That's for another day. But
sounds good.
So, okay. This is me asking you to see if you have an answer for kind of selfish reasons, because I'm going through this process myself. You talked a little bit about, like, responsibility, and you're like, I have a responsibility that I'm not stepping up to. And I'm wondering where you feel that responsibility, like, what that responsibility is, where it comes from, and do you not think that it could be... Well, I'll ask the second part of that later. Where do you think the responsibility comes from? And
so I think definitely, like, I'm definitely a believer in, like, following whatever your dream is. But then I think the responsibility side of me, I guess, is more like, okay, well, you need to, like, make money and, like, and provide for yourself, which I think is a good attitude to have. I don't have it like, okay, I need to make X amount of money so I can make my parents happy. Yeah. Nothing like that. For me, it's more like, I have always been this way. I want to be independent from, like, you know, I just want to be able to be like self-sustaining.
Yeah.
You know, so like for me, I'm like, okay, for me to be happy, I need to like make money, have my own things, like not have my parents pay for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I realized that I need that to be happy.
Yeah.
Like without, I'm not saying it's like a dollar amount. Like I need to be like rich, but I need to provide for myself.
Yeah.
And then I want to eventually have a family, so that as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my coming understanding of responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I hope that this isn't like a pushback. This is just me trying to make sense of it for myself, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's interesting that you're talking about, okay, I want to be independent, right? I don't want to have somebody else be, like my parents be giving me the money to be able to do what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and that's what I dislike so much about this program at Dev Mountain, because it's like the employer becomes your parent, you know?
Yeah. I
Are
agree,
you awake? Are you here? Are you doing your homework? I'm like, dude, like,
yeah.
Right? So it's like we sort of outsource the parent job to like companies. Like that's the way that I'm looking at it now with what you were saying. It's like,
yeah, for sure.
So it's like now my boss becomes my new parent, and it sort of makes me think about that. Like, you're right. I don't want to be going off what my parents said, right? And the company is like my way or the highway, and the parents that are unhealed, my way or the highway. You know?
Yeah, and it depends on what parents you have. That's what my parents were like.
Absolutely, and so are mine. It's just like, if you don't do what I say, you're out of my house. You know, you don't get to reap the benefits of what you actually want to do, which is play music. You know.
Yeah. Yes, this is true.
And so, but then, if you'll allow me, it's like Actually, no, please. Yeah.
Oh no, I was
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
But like, I have this thought about, but we can't do it unsupported, right?
Yeah.
Like there is some support. Like I'm gonna be self-sustaining, but like there's no such thing. Like we're all connected, right? The earth makes food for us to be able to eat, and if that wasn't happening, we couldn't self-sustain food for ourselves, right? So it's like stepping into the fact that I do want to be supported, and I want to be supported by the people that like see my gift, right?
Yeah. I think, especially with music, like in that industry, it would be sweet because of that reason.
Yeah.
Like you can sustain yourself by just giving people something that they want to hear.
Right, that they enjoy, and they're like, dude, I'm happy to give you money to go to your concert.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Tame and Paul. Like I want to do that. I want to give you the money to go and see. Like.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like I think it'd be so sweet to like make money in that way.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, you're feeling something in your life, and then you make this out of it, and then people listen to it, and then they can feel good about it, and then you just live that way. Everyone should live that way.
Everybody should, dude. It's like
I actually think that. Sorry,
please.
I think it's kind of interesting. I think that like maybe that kind of is what's gonna happen in the future.
Yeah.
Like, at least I hope so.
Yes.
Like as entertainment becomes huge, enough where everyone can just survive off what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like kind of, it's just like the world, the way it works, it sucks, you know?
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But like so, okay, I'm gonna tell you an experience that I had last night, and actually, if you're okay with it, I'm gonna play the song that I made last night.
Dude, do it.
Okay.
I wanna hear it.
Yeah. And I made it with this guy, Indy. Let's skip ahead. I think it's, once he gets to the piano. So I'll give you a little backstory. Made it with this guy I just met there that night. Like I was outside at the Velour just singing along, harmonizing with Banana Pancakes by Jack Johnson. And he started just singing with me, which I'd always wanted somebody to do that. Be like, there's no limit on who can join in and singing, so just will you sing? And he did, and I thought that was really cool, so we started to connect. And I asked him if he would just do a jam session, freestyle. So he takes Blackbird, which I thought was funny because that's the one song that Andrew knows.
That's what we're talking about. Dude, just say stuff on top of that.
Blackbird, and that's what he did, Blackbird, and then he changed like 2 chords at the end, and made it like a minor, and then would switch that. He would just have that be the thing and then shift it, and I just went along with him. So we did that together, which was fun. But then he goes and plays down on the piano, and yeah, this is the song that came out. So that's sort of the context, right? We've never played together. I don't know this guy. We don't have any practice for just playing this.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, you open to it?
Dude, I'm way open to it.
Okay.
I love this stuff.
Here we go. I'm going to turn it up here so you guys can hear. We'll see how it sounds.
That was amazing. That was incredible. What an amazing summer. Give it up. Yeah.
I need to go to the
Yeah.
one place, man.
Yeah, do the same thing. But we don't have any like cheat codes. There's no. Well, we did say the subject matter is river. So that's the prompt. This is my music essay.
Okay.
That song makes me want to testify. I've seen the light.
Sweet, dude. I like it.
I've been crucified. I made it through that dark, dark night. And here I am on the other side. I'm on the other side. I'm on the right side of
This guy's jamming hard.
Yeah.
Man. I like it, dude. It's cool.
So that the reason that I wanted to share it is because connected to what you were talking about with like this new currency, right? Because I'm obsessed with currency, and you did your, little website
yeah.
on cryptocurrency. This new form of currency is exactly what you're talking about. I feel something, I do the emotional processing for it, and I make music, and I share that with you, and then you get to like move through that as well, right? Because you
Yeah.
listen to music that like has that energy, and it's like this guy played music for me, and I was connecting to his energy of the healing that he's done, and it helps me to sing in a new way.
Yeah.
Like that is that's, and what do you put a price on that for? You can't put a price on that. Like it's
It's sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's like, that's why I'm not about, I don't know. I like it like, if the artist is too like mainstream.
Yeah.
I hate it when people are also like discredit music that's mainstream. I think that's also a fault.
Yeah.
But because I think that some mainstream music is genuine, but I like genuine music, like not like it was made with real emotions. You know what I mean? I feel like some songs are just kind of made like just for the sole purpose of like get on the charts and make money.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Totally.
I can totally see that, but I think some are like actually like hit hard for them, and you can tell. I feel like sometimes.
Okay, so
Those songs are.
what you're saying about not making music for money, because you can feel the music that's made for money and it's lifeless, it's dead, right? It has no soul.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about this with like your gift, God, and I feel like I'm gonna be, when I'm doing this podcast with people, like pressing them a lot. But the thing is, if you're living your lifestyle of like, I need to make money, then like it's gonna be harder to get to that place with the music, because your life is structured around making money. So then when you sit down to make music, it's like, well, I got to make music to make money. And then it doesn't have that soul.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I understand it, but also I don't think that. I think you can make music, and in a way that is like I'm not just like it's not my full-time job.
Yeah.
But I can still equally like enjoy it. But I actually don't think it'd be equal if that was like your only focus. You could probably do it a lot more.
Right.
But I think that like for a lot of people, and like myself included, it's like an escape. But it's not that I don't. It's because I don't want to do programming because I love programming.
Yeah.
But it's like I love music too.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think it's like either or. But I don't think if I did, if I was working full time, guitar wouldn't be like as big a part of my life. You know what I mean?
Well, because it takes up so much time, the 9 to 5, right? That's the majority of the time that you have.
Yeah,
right?
no, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of time. But yeah. But I love playing music, and yeah, I mean, if I could do that as a career, I mean, I would be down. I would be down for that.
Well, okay, so that's going to be, and with each of these podcasts, I think I'm going to have like a hope for the people that I interact with, like, or just like a wish or a dream for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's my dream for you. That's my hope for you. That like you can be sustained doing the thing that you want to do, which is create art from your heart. Like that there is a system out there. There are people out there that are going to support you in that, and that you don't have to sacrifice any of the, I feel like I have to do this stuff because like the way the world is sucks, right? So like you said, like let's change it. Let's make it better. Like,
yeah.
So
well, I hope so too, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Anything you want to
make it a band?
Yeah, let's make a band. But anything, last words, anything else to say, or do you think that's good? Do you think we got it? That feels good to me.
Dude, it feels great, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
Thanks for being on.
You're the boy.
You're the boy. I'll see you around.